Prime Minister Justin Trudeau appearing before the federal inquiry into foreign interference today. He previously testified back in the spring. Today, he said foreign interference and geopolitical threats have increased over the past number of years, citing factors including the Russian invasion of Ukraine, the pandemic, and changing technology. Trudeau also testified the world is more uncertain and less safe than ever due to the rise in authoritarian powers determined to sow chaos in democracies like ours. Trudeau was also asked about when he saw the intelligence suggesting India was behind the killing of Hardeep Singh Nijjar in BC last year.
In late July, early August, I was briefed on the fact that there was intelligence from Canada and possibly from Five Eyes allies that made it fairly clear, credibly clear, that India was involved in this killing. Agents of the government of India were involved in the killing of a Canadian on Canadian soil. This was something that we obviously had to take extremely seriously. That violation of sovereignty, of the international rule of law, with extrajudicial killing in a foreign country, in a fellow democracy, was a massive mistake.
A final report on foreign meddling is due by the end of the year. To help us break this all down, CTV's political commentator Scott Reid joins us. Now, Scott, we do got to talk India, but I think the bigger thing that came out of today was, what was said about Conservative MPs, candidates, and potential prior politicians by the Prime Minister. He said, I just brought it up here to make sure we got it right, I have the names of a number of parliamentarians, former parliamentarians, and/or candidates in the Conservative Party who are engaged or at high risk of clear intelligence, or where there's clear intelligence around foreign interference. Now, the opposition leaders already called this a lie by the Premier, but this is what's gotten a lot of people talking. So what do you think?
Oh, it's clearly not a lie. The Prime Minister is under oath, and he does have that information. He has that information about parliamentarians of other stripes as well, including his own. To put it in context, the reason the Prime Minister explored that was he was trying to make a different point. He was trying to make a point that only Pierre Poilievre has refused, of all the party leaders, to be sworn in to accept national briefings on confidential and secure matters. And the point he was making is that there have been allegations about Liberal candidates and others who have been involved or might have been witting or unwitting targets for foreign interference, and he has a mechanism to deal with it. He does not with the Conservative Party. So if you, as Prime Minister, have been briefed by CSIS or other foreign officials, other foreign and security officials in your own government about Conservatives, you don't have a mechanism to turn to Mr. Poilievre and say, hey, here's some information. You may wish to defend these people and think that the allegations are unfounded. You may wish to take action against them. You may wish to address it. But Mr. Poilievre's unwillingness to participate in security briefings and to go and to take that pledge means that there's no mechanism to address it. And the Prime Minister called that egregious, irresponsible. He was very pointed. So he tried to turn the tables on Mr. Poilievre in a sharp way at the Commission today.
And he said he didn't want to get partisan, but ultimately he felt that it was impossible to not call it egregious. The question becomes now, though, is how, with the response from the Conservatives, what ends up coming out of this? Is anyone going to come away looking clean in this matter?
No, it's going to continue to be the muddle that it's been for some time. But this is a question that actually does deserve to be posed to Mr. Poilievre. And his response is, well, if you have names, just release them publicly. But he knows, because he served as a cabinet minister, that that's not a responsible answer. He knows that the Prime Minister is somewhat restricted in what he can say in the public domain. And why would we want the Prime Minister of the country going around accusing opposition politicians of this and making it appear as though it is 100% partisan? Share the information on a confidential basis with the party. The party, in this case the Conservative Party, and the Conservative leader can take action if it wishes. But Mr. Poilievre is rejecting all of that. He's pretending that Mr. Trudeau has the discretion to release all those names and that it would be an appropriate or fair thing to do. It's not. He knows it. He's just ducking the question. It's not going to cost him big votes come the next election. Doesn't mean that Pierre Poilievre isn't still 20 points ahead in the polls and likely to become next prime minister, but it tells you a little something about how he wishes to conduct himself on this very sensitive, important issue.
I know we got to wrap right there, and we'll talk about India another time, because this is not a story that's going away.
It sure isn't.
No. Well, you hang tight. We'll chat with you soon, but we appreciate your time as always, Scott.
Thanks, Andrew.